Hey, marriage is good. Marriage is great. Marriage is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Sex is great. It's a beautiful thing, right? Love is a beautiful thing. It's great, right? But we all love different. We all have different views or mentalities or ideas about sex. Don't do that because it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And don't mess with old men because they got worms. All right, y'all, as you can see, today's topic is sex, love, and marriage. Not particularly in that order, but we're going to talk about all of them pretty much together, right? I got to throw these disclaimers out there that these are just my opinions. These are my experiences. It's not the Bible. It's not written in stone, but it's just from my perspective, my point of view, all right? So, okay, let's jump right into it. All of it obviously goes together, right? You meet a woman or you meet a man, you date for a while, the dating life is good, you end up getting married, that's good, all of that's good in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, you're having problems, right? And that's not everybody, but it's a natural thing, right? Because first of all, we have to get to know each other. We have to get to learn each other. We have to learn how to compromise on a whole lot. Let's just say it's a lot of work. It's not the fairy tale that it's supposed to be, right? But like I said, let's just say it's work. It's not a girl grow up and meet Prince Charming, and then you have the American dream. You get the house, the picket fence, and the 1.2 kids, or however that works, right? But now we back to reality. It don't work like that. But anyway, so it's all about, again, it's all about compromise and learning that person, cohabitate. And that in itself is hard, especially when you have two different attitudes, you have two different personalities, you have just two different upbringings, just everything is just different, right? And in the beginning, like I say, you overlook all of that. You look past all of that because this is my person. I finally found my person. They get me, I get them. Everything is, all of the euphoria when you kiss and when you're holding hands and when you're doing all the things you're doing, right? And then you get married and then reality sets in, right? Now you live together, you're learning different stuff and different things about this other person, whether it be the man or the woman. You seeing things that you didn't see in the dating phase, because now you're with this person every day, and you just start to see different sides of the person, right? Maybe they're not as neat as you. Maybe they're not as neat as you thought. Maybe they don't clean up the way you clean up, or maybe they don't cook the way you cook, or whatever the situation may be, right? But let's just say it's different now, right? So all of those things start setting in, on top of the fact that if there's kids involved, then naturally the woman is going to be more attentive to the kids. Naturally, that's a natural thing, you know what I'm saying? But men sometimes don't understand that. Children takes a lot of time, right? Not in a bad way, but they just take a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So she might work and then come home and take care of the kids, and then by the end of the night, you ready, and she ain't thinking about none of that, right? So I don't want to just jump right into that, but anyway, she's not thinking about that because she's been working all day just like you have. She's had to deal with people outside of the home just like you have. She had to get the kids ready for school, go to work, come back home, make sure they got dinner, Make sure they do their homework. And don't get me wrong. I know that now men are helping with those process, but probably not as much as they probably should. So you look at that side of it, right? And then another thing, men are visual creatures, right? So now, now you used to seeing this girl face beat, hair flyed up every time y'all get together and go somewhere. And if you've dated long enough, you've seen her outside of that as well. But at that time, it really didn't matter, right? So now fast forward, right? You've been married for a few years and you got children, or maybe not have children, but you got the stress of the bills and the stress of new things that you learn about the person that maybe not something that you're like super excited about. You know what I'm saying? And let's just keep it real. It's like it just happens because we're all kind of in this bubble or concept or this way that it should be or that it's supposed to be. And I have this conversation with my wife all the time as far as people living in fantasy, right? Like a lot of people grow up, and myself included, men and women, not just saying women, but men and women, we grow up in this fantasy world, right? As to what marriage is supposed to be, what relationship is supposed to be, what friendship is supposed to be, you know, all of those different types of things. And we grow up in that, with that mentality on certain things, and it's actually a fairy tale, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to jump around too much, but like this whole narrative of if a man doesn't do this for you, or if a woman doesn't do this for you, they don't love you, or if they don't, you know what I'm saying? If they don't do a certain thing, then they don't love you, right? That's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? And then there's also this thing about the same way you got the person is the same way you're going to keep them. Understandably so, but at the same time, when life start lifing and life start to take over, I mean, all of that shouldn't go out the window. And that's what I mean by you have to put in some work. It's work. It's not just because I love this person and because I took this vow that everything is going to be so great and so happy-go-lucky, right? It takes work, right? And that's what I mean by that. When, to get back to what I was saying, when life starts to take over and you got stress on the job and you got stress with the bills and you got stress with the children and you just got stress with just life in general, right? It's kind of hard to keep up with that whole thing that you had in the beginning. And most times it's just a feeling, right? It's just like anything else. You get that feeling of euphoria, if that's the correct word. You know how people say, well, yeah, every time I talk to him or every time I talk to her, I get these butterflies in my stomach. And every time he do this or she do that, I just get this feeling. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations to where, yeah, of course you get that. But then what happens when you don't get that? It's just like the old saying about beauty, right? A lot of people marry or a lot of people pick mates because of beauty or because of fine or because of handsome. And we know certain things have been scientifically proven about men and women. Women are attracted to men that are protectors, that are, you know what I'm saying, providers, because that's what we're supposed to be, right? So a woman will see a man and he might have broad shoulders or strong hands, or he may just be a leader or whatever the situation may be, and she's attracted to him because of that. Just like a man is attracted to a woman that may have childbearing hips or may, you know what I'm saying, may be super nurturing. Those are the things that has been scientifically proven, right? So like I say, when all of that newness start to wear off, then is where you find out what you're really made of. Right? And you find out if this is really what you want, right? Because I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. When a person meet a new person, it's always that newness. It's always something, whatever it is about this person that you just head over heels about, right? And then when you get to the work stage of it, it'll aggravate the hell out of you. Like, why you do that like that? Why you do this? Why you do, you know what I'm saying? But in the beginning, oh, it's just so cute. Right? It's just so funny. It's just so this, it's just so that, right? Back to the topic, love, sex, and marriage, right? Each one of those words, so they all go together, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But love is just not something that, like most people get this feeling, this newness, this euphoria, this, oh, nobody's ever made me feel that way, or nobody ever did this for me or did that for me, right? So let's move on to the marriage part, right? And we'll probably cover sex and marriage all together, and a little bit of love too, because again, it all goes hand in hand. So let's go back to the marriage. You're married. In the beginning, everything is great. She do this, he do that. They know, and let's just keep it 100. They know my spot. They know how to turn me on. They know what I like. They know what I don't like. All of this, right? And then a little while into the marriage is when life starts taking over, and you're stressed out, and you've been together long enough now, and you start to get complacent, and we all do it. I'm guilty of it too, right? And that's why I mentioned that whole way you got them is the way you keep them situation. It works sometimes. It could work, but you just have to put in the work to do that, right? Because for one thing, you have to know, you have to learn your partner. You have to learn what their love language is. You have to learn how to sacrifice sometimes. Because take me and my wife, right? She likes to go out sometimes. She's not like a street person, like she like to be in the street all the time, right? But she likes to go out sometimes and go to a restaurant or go to a movie or whatever. Me, I could be at home every day, which is what I usually do. I go to work, I come home, and I sit in front of the TV, or if I have a rehearsal or whatever, I'll do that or whatever. But the whole point is, just because she loves me and she knows who I am, doesn't mean that she should have to give up everything that she likes, because I'm not into people like that, right? And she's not either that much, but she is a people person. She's like more so of a people watcher. She like to be out watching people, and you know what I'm saying? And she likes to, what's the word? She's a social worker, right? And I know this is just her personality, not her work profile situation, but she likes to watch people and kind of, I guess, try to kind of figure people out or whatever. That's just my opinion. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but saying all of that to say is, we have to learn our person, right? We have to learn what they like, what they don't like. We have to learn pretty much their love language. Her love language is, she likes flowers. She likes to be hugged on and kissed on and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered. Not that I don't love her or I don't want to be around her, but I just don't want to be bothered with nobody. I just want to sit in my spot, don't talk, you know what I'm saying? Just do whatever I'm doing. And that's not cool for her, right? So I have to check myself on that, because she ain't gonna do it. She'll just go in the room and be like, well, I can tell he don't want to be bothered. Let me just leave him alone. Let me get out of the way. But that's not good either. So it's up to me to say, you know what? Even though I may not want to be bothered right now, I know this is something that she needs. You know what I'm saying? Something that she needs. You know, for me to just hug on her and kiss on her, love on her, stuff like that, right? Or if I go to the store, I just bring her some flowers back or something like that. Or she like Mike and Ike's, I'll bring her some Mike and Ike's, or bring her some jelly beans. That's, you know what I'm saying? Learning, that's what the type of stuff she like, right? Not that that's going to solve every problem that you have, but that in itself is what I'm kind of getting to. You have to learn your person as opposed to just saying, you know what? Every day is traffic. I hate traffic. I can't stand traffic. So I'm always on edge. But I got to sometimes put that to the side and say, you know what? It's not her fault that it was traffic. It's not her fault that I had a bad day at work. It's not her fault that people don't listen or don't do what they, you know, whatever my issues are. It's not her fault. So sometimes I got to try to go in my head and tell myself, look, bro, that's not cool, because why should she have to suffer for what you're going through? And then on some of those occasions, she has to go into herself and say, well, you know what? I can understand he going through something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to either back off of him and give him some space, or either I'm going to go love on him and, you know what I'm saying, let him know that we don't have to talk, but I'm here for you, whatever you need, whatever you know, stuff like that. Then we have the sex part. Again, like I said, women and men are wired different. In other words, I'll put it like this. Women got to be primed up, especially in the whole sense of working and coming home and cooking and taking care of the house and taking care of the kids and all of that other stuff, right? Most time, women ain't even thinking about that. Now, some women do, but most time, when you got all of that on your plate and all of that on your mind, it's just something you ain't really thinking about, right? But then on the other hand, the man will be like, well, when we first got together, we was like rabbits, right? But he don't have, and he have, you know, men have stress and trauma and all that other stuff too going on. But a man's mind is just different when it comes to that. It's like that whole, I had a bad day, I just want to go home and eat some ice cream. Now, women say that a lot. That's why I use that, because ice cream ain't my thing. But just follow me on that, right? I had a bad day. All I want to do is go home, take me a shower, get in the bed and eat me some ice cream or eat some cake or whatever you like, right? Whereas a man might think the same way, but he ain't thinking about eating no ice cream. Right? His thing is, all I want to do is go home, take me a bath, and get, you know, do what we do, right? But again, that woman done been through all of this stuff all through the day, and you ain't even really, you know what I'm saying? You ain't even texted that day saying how you doing, or telling her how beautiful she is, or how proud you are of her, or none of that, right? You just come home and you read it, right? So you gotta, it's more to it than that for women, right? And a man can be mad and still do what he do. A man can be stressed out and still do what he do. I always say it's a stress reliever to me anyway. And most men feel that way as well, right? But women don't feel like that. That engine got to warm up, right? You can't just jump off and it's popping, right? So they got to warm up. They got to be in the mood. They got to be, and that's another thing. It's like, once you do get married and all of these things start to happen, then 9 times out of 10, she ain't going to be in the mood like what she used to be, right? Because we don't go on no vacations. We don't take no trips. It's always the kids this and the schools that and the work this. And the supervisors and the managers at work, and right, and the bills this and this person going through this and this calling for that, and it's just too much, right, for them just to be ready to pop off at any moment, right? So then that starts to be a problem. And here's how it's a problem it's a different problem for men than it is for women, because a man will feel like, if you don't want to be bothered with me like that, right, then what's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, and some women feel the same way, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes women will say, well, he don't make no advances, or he don't even want me no more. He don't want, you know what I'm saying? And it's not always that. It's always the situations that we're in, you know what I'm saying? And especially some older men, they done ate bad their whole lives. They never really work out. They drank a lot. They smoke a lot. They got issues. And now that old saying about men never really going to the doctor, or men not wanting to tell people what's going on with them, sometimes they got ED, right? And they ain't no man gonna tell you that. That's just what it is, right? Now, there are situations that can be fixed, right? But what man gonna tell you, oh, I can't do nothing today. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna do that, so they gonna hide that, right? And that's just the way men are, right? And even if that situation happens, the first thing the woman go to is, what's wrong with me? You don't want me no more? You don't love me no more? You know what I'm saying? It's one of them catch-22 things, right? So it's like you really just got to figure it out. But the main thing to all of that, in my opinion, is communication. If you just communicate that, you know what I'm saying, these kids wearing me out, this job wearing me out, this wearing me out. It's not that I don't love you anymore. It's not that I don't want to be bothered with you. But life is just beating me down, right? Now that goes for the man and the woman. Or for the man to say, you know what, it's just been a rough day, and it's not that I'm not attracted to you the way I used to be, but I'm just, right now I got so much going on mentally. And that's most of the issues with men that suffer with that situation, right? Because they so stressed out, on edge all the time, and not eating right, not sleeping right, and drinking and smoking and God knows whatever, right? What else? And even that in itself is something that'll have them tripping and stressing and whatever, right? So it's just important to communicate. You got to be able to communicate. You have to be able to talk. You have to be open to listen, not just to hear a person so you can respond, but listen and hear. And I'm not saying listen to what I'm telling you, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to be, because most people, they don't listen to hear, they listen to respond. Because the first thing a person to do when you're telling them something, well, remember you did this, or remember you said, you know, and right there is where you lose the game, right? Because you can't, it's done. It don't even make no sense to keep on going with that, right? So anyway, like I said, marriage is good. Marriage is great. Marriage is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Sex is great. It's a beautiful thing, right? Love is a beautiful thing. It's great, right? But we all love different. We all have different views or mentalities or ideas about sex, because everybody ain't learning about sex in sex ed. Everybody ain't learned about sex from porn, but a lot of people did. Everybody ain't learned about sex from the elders teaching you, you know what I'm saying? Or telling you right ways and wrong ways other than don't do that because it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And don't mess with old men because they got worms. And foolishness like that, right? So it's a mystery almost. It's something that you just got to learn as you go and learn on your own. And so those things you kind of have to learn, right? Just like you have to learn how to love a person. You have to learn what turns them on. You have to learn what makes them tick. You have to learn, you know what I'm saying, what a person need in their everyday lives in order for them to feel a certain way about that. Because again, a man could just go when he's ready to go. A woman got to be primed up and not like she a machine or nothing like that, but she got to feel love and she got to feel wanted and she got to feel a certain way about that situation, right? Especially with all of these other things in life going on. And then also a man got to feel wanted too, because I'm like, if I got to ask you all the time or if I got to initiate all the time, then I'm going to back up off you, because now I feel like, you know, if I don't say nothing or if I don't initiate, and I'm just saying in general, right? So some men feel that way too, like, because a man want to feel the same way. And that's why a lot of people, and this is not an excuse because I don't condone it, but that's why a lot of people cheat. That's why a lot of people do what they do, because that outside person, they're going to do everything. They're going to learn him. They're going to learn her. And they're going to do everything that they think you want or they think you need or they think you like, right? And it's going to be no holds barred. Okay, just like the movie Denzel Washington was in, and I can't remember the name of it, but when he said he'd been doing this or doing that, all of this for all of these years, and she told him, I've been standing by you for all of these years while you've been going through that. But if you listen to what he said about this other woman, it's like he can go over there and he could just be free. He could say what he want. He could do what he want. He could laugh. He could play. He could do whatever, right? And just be him and not worry about bills, not worry about this, not worry about that. Most people are looking for something, right? And sometimes they'll find it outside of where they're supposed to be looking for it, right? And again, I don't condone it, but these are some facts on why people do what they do. Everybody wants to be wanted, right? Everybody wants to feel needed. Everybody wants to feel attractive. Everybody wants to feel relevant, right? And sometimes we get in relationships and we lose track of that. Because we get so caught up, like I always say, and I can only speak for me, but I get so caught up in my mind because most time I live in my mind, right? And I get so caught up in my mind that I forget about doing this, or I forget about doing that, or I don't pay enough attention to this, or I don't, you see what I'm saying? It's one of them type of situations, and I think that's where we kind of lose it. So basically, that's what I'm saying. You have to work at marriage. You have to work at love. You have to work at all of these different things, even sex, right? Because after you get married or have children or just life, right? It's not like when you was a teenager, or it's not like when you didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities, right? Now you got all of these responsibilities. Some situations you have children. Some situations you're just working a lot. Some situations, whatever the case might be, right? And it's not the same as what it used to be, but sometimes you have to work at those things as well, because men actually need that, and some women need that as well, right? Because that's the way, in my opinion, that we bond. That's the way we, as adults, right? And as husband and wife, or as people that's dating for a long time, or whatever the situation is, that's our bonding time. That's the time we come together, right? And it's not just a stress reliever. It's more to it than just that, right? I can't go into all of what it means and all of that because I don't know all of what it means and all of that. So I'm just going to say it like that. But anyway, love, sex, and marriage, it just has to be worked on. There has to be an open communication on it. There has to be work put into it. There has to be a lot of thought about it, because sometimes we get caught up in life and we just don't think about it. That ain't good. It's just not good, right? And some people live with it. A lot of people live with it. But it's not good, right? And he should understand, or she should understand, I'm going through what I'm going through. I understand that too, but at the same time, you still can't, you can't leave it all up on that. He should understand, or she should understand. Now, if we're talking about illness or sickness, that's a whole different ball game, right? But if we're just talking about, I'm just tired, or I don't feel like it, or you get on my nerves, well, that's a problem. You see what I'm saying? Saying all of that to say is that everything, even love, you got to work on that. You got to work at that, right? You got to work on your sex life, right? Because it can get to a point to where a man don't feel appreciated, or a man don't feel wanted. And most women don't even realize that. They don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? And then it can be the same thing for a woman, where he don't even touch me no more. He don't even make no advance. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's probably because you didn't put him off so much, and then it might just be him, right? But if you don't communicate about that, then who's to know? So all of that goes hand in hand as it pertains to marriage, right? All of that's important in marriage. Love is important, sex is important, and communication is important. And I think communication is the most important, because if you have communication, you can work through all of that other stuff, right? And it can get tough. It can get rough. It can get monotonous. It can get the same old, same old. It can be all of that. But on the other hand, if you work at it, right, which is what you have to do, it can be a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, learn your partner. Learn what their love language is. Learn what they need. You know what I'm saying? Tell them what you need. Don't just say, oh, because a lot of times people feel like they should know. He should know what I like. He should know what I want. You're setting yourself up, because it ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. She should know what I like. She should know what I want. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Now, if you have had these conversations before, and you told this person what you like, or what you want, or what you need, or what you don't like, or what you don't want, or what you don't need, that's different. But you might have to tell them again, right? Because again, life is like, man, life is rough sometimes. But anyway, that's the key. When it comes to love, sex, and marriage, communication is key. I know it's cliche, and we say it all the time, but it actually is. And that's not only in love, sex, and marriage. That's across the board. That's with friendship, with family, with work, with everything. Sex is important in a marriage. Love is important in a marriage, right? But all three of them, you have to put in work. They don't just come easy. They don't just happen. They don't just stay fresh. They don't just stay exciting on love, on sex, and on marriage. You have to put in the work. When you do that, it can be a beautiful thing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Y'all be easy.